Hey there everyone, it's Guns and Kotaku again, just coming to you with another video. This is hopefully not going to be too long. If anyone's been paying attention to my Twitter, they would have known that I've had audio issues with my index, and which I said it was the cable. I figured it was the cable because I was doing some weird things. Like I had to go through weird ways of getting my audio to still work. Like I would have to switch to the hertz on the index. I'd have to unplug and replug back in the cable constantly, which obviously isn't ideal in the headset. So what I did is I contacted Steam or Valve, and then they sent me a refurb cable. I actually bought another cable, so I should actually have another cable coming in, but it got lost in the mail. I see plenty of videos on YouTube showing how to replace this cable or like to change it out and everything, but I don't see any videos about like, you know, actually disassembling this or taking an old bad cable. Look at this. You can see there's like, actually, if the camera will zoom in, it's not zooming in. But anyway, there's like a little bend right here in the cable. This is where I expect the breakage has happened. I'm gonna actually cut this open, cut it at the insulation with just a kitchen knife just to see what I can do here, what it is. If I could potentially fix it. If I could fix it, then I'll have 3 good cables eventually, which would be nice because then my index, I won't have to upgrade for a while. Let's go ahead and just, I know some people are gonna clench their buttholes, but you know, this is one of my sharpest knives in my house. So I'm like, I'm just gonna take this, cut open the insulation and peel it back and just see what I can do here. So just bear with me. So we've already cut into it. Got the armor right there. If my camera will zoom in, there you go. You got the armor in there. So I've already cut this open here. It's got armor protecting it. So that's good. That's good. But let's see if we can peel back all of this insulation. And try to cut it down with the knife a little bit more. If I can peel it back. I do not recommend doing this ever with a known good cable. I know this is a bad cable, so I'm totally comfortable doing this, knowing that I have a good cable already installed. I need some pliers. So as I can already tell from tearing this back, this is where the bend is. You can see that the armor, if you look, zoom in properly, you can see that right here that the armor is already peeling back from tension and just from the movement of the cable in the headset from this area. You could tell that the armor is completely peeled back. It's no longer there. So the protective armor is completely useless right there at that point. So we're going to go ahead and just peel back all of this to cut this insulation completely off because I've got electric tape. I can fix this. Peel back more of it. All right, there we go. Now we got a good peel. Now we got a good peel. So let's take a look at this. All right, I've moved up the insulation completely off of this. So look at this cable right here in this little bend. If zoom in, see that? Look at how all this armor from this point is completely peeled back just from regular use. It's completely like 360 spin. The way you could prevent stuff like this is if you put that little app in there. So like I know a lot of dance and stuff like that. You put the little app in there, it'll show you how many twists you've made, and you can untwist yourself. So that's an app I'd recommend doing. I don't really dance stuff like that, but you know, you could just see the cable isn't actually broken right here. It's just all the armor's off. Here we go. Look at that. You got some exposed wiring here, it looks like. Yeah, that's definitely exposed wiring right here. Let me get my hand to zoom in. There's exposed wiring just right there. Like, look, if you look, maybe I'll get my face on there so it'll zoom in. See, look at that exposed wiring right there. So you could kind of see where we're coming from, this torsion, everything. So that's where the air came from. That's why it's intermittent, because as I'm rotating it or moving it, the connection's there. But what I was getting was intermittent audio issues where if I cycle through the visuals enough, when it's on a full startup, I think it has that big startup curtain for startup current. And that big startup current isn't enough to get the audio to work. But when the headset's already running and already has power to it, it's able to connect the audio because it's a lower voltage. So I think what it is the voltage, the different signals, the video signal and audio signal, because of that exposed wiring. This is just theory, by the way. Because I exposed the inductance between those two cables, and the magnetism, I guess, or just the basically the voltage surrounding the actual wire itself, is crossing over, which is conflicting with the audio and video signal. So that's one of the inherent bad things. While it's nice to have a single cable that can do everything, the problem with having everything all in one cable, audio and visuals, in such a small, tight quarters, that if you have any breakage at all, it's not going to work properly. You can look at that, like I'm just pushing down like that. That's all the insulation, and pretty confident I figured out the issue. Now, can I get this armor off? I don't know. I could honestly probably cut here and cut there and put all this back together, and it would probably work. I would prefer to avoid doing that. Just take things apart. I'm just gonna keep on taking things apart off of here. It's amazing how many, I'm actually curious how many wires are in here. Now, if this is just like, the Apple power cables, if I'm correct, on the outside could be a ground, could also be disrupting the signal. It doesn't have a ground, but I don't know. I would actually have to see the schematic. Let's see, there's so many wires in here. Oh my God, more complicated than I thought. This is just kind of fun taking things apart, And not many people get to see this. A lot of people get to see how a thing is made, so it's kind of an interesting video in of itself, just doing this. Look at all these wires. Look at how many wires are in there. Look at how many wires are in the index cable. We've got so many wires in this. And I can see breakage right there. I'm actually curious if I may fix it, but it looks like to me it looks like to me if you were to repair this, go ahead. I would think this entire part is bad. I would cut this right there, and then I would go through, strip all these wires, put them back together. You could either use solder or electric tape, whatever. You could rat tail this shit if you wanted to. I wouldn't do that though, because rat tailing, that kind of defeats the purpose of, honestly, you could probably go to an electronic shop, a professional electronic shop, and be like, hey, here's this, make this together again, and they would probably do it for you. But that's pretty much it. Like, I thought y'all might find this interesting, just making a short video showing you how you take it apart. I'm not gonna cut this yet. Maybe I will in a later video. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is what the inside of an index cable looks like. There you go. That's what the inside. We got like over 10 wires in here. It looks like so many different colors. Put all the signal through this one port right here, and it all stems from that's the part where it bends and everything. Even if it's latched in, even if you're using a pulley system, it's going to break. This is what caused the breakage, because as soon as I opened this up, I saw all this armor was eroded away due to extended use. So this is a fatal flaw with the index. The index should have been recalled. The index should have been recalled. I don't care what anyone's like. It's a great headset. It's great like that. At 2 years, these things will break unless you're like staying in one place the whole time. There's no way to avoid this kind of damage unless you literally baby it all the time. And this is meant to be VR. You're supposed to be able to move out and like not supposed to be sitting there. If I wanted to sit there and play a game, I would just sit in front of a PC with a mouse and keyboard. But this is ridiculous. The next headset, all headsets, the way it should be designed, it should be where the port, looking from here, it should go into the front and then go over the top of your head, not the side. If it goes through the side, it causes one side to have more torsion than the rest. At least with the centerline cord, you wouldn't have as much torsion. You're still gonna have torsion back here and stuff like that you can't avoid, but it would be nicer. Or the ability for people who have pulleys to be able to move it to the center of your head, so that way it's centerline to the big center of your head. But that's just my suggestions. I'm gonna see if I can fix this later or send it into a shop or figure something out like that, see if they want to mess with it. Pretty much all I've got with that, and as always, live Kentuck, be Kentuck. See you later, everybody.